Geoffrey again. I'm going to take you through how we manage the brooder. Right from the hatchery, we have our birds ready and we are doing preparations on how to go about the next step right from the hatchery and what goes on. You have to disinfect so that you kill any viral or any other infections. Not forgetting our viral kill. This is what I use as a recommendation to my vet. Now, here we are. These are the birds ready. Yeah, these are the birds ready for the hatchery, and the birds ready right from the brooder. So now we are in our brooder. To begin with, they should be having enough heat as a warmth from this pot. Now this pot is ready. It's already hot. And what you actually need, you also need the husks, coffee husks. We use the coffee husks. However, you also need to protect the birds from the direct husks. These husks, you have to first cover with at least some hard paper so that the birds are in position to separate between the feeds, the water, because at that stage they are babies and they cannot separate the food from the husks. Actually here, this is at day 2, when the birds have started separating the food and the water from the husks. Then they are in position to separate the food and the water. So that's when you can remove the paper so that the droppings can sink into the husks and they bring no any other problem. So in understanding the traits of the birds, once they converge together like this, it's a sign that they are trying to get warm. However, when you are looking at these birds, now this pot, there is too much heat. That's why they run away and distance themselves from the heat. So there, as a farmer, you can always reduce on the heat or somehow extend the pot away from the birds. Then another thing you have to look at them, you have to keep monitoring the birds and seeing if they are in good shape. For instance, at this toddler stage, they have an issue with their constipation. So with constipation as a solution, we normally use sunflower edible oil. They're just the oil we use to, like the cooking oil. So you put a few droppings in the drinker, just a few drops into their drinking water. This solves the problem of constipation because it is really a challenge that the birds face at this stage because they are taking a lot of too much carbohydrates. Then on the feeds, we are feeding them with pellets. Pellets, that's a good recommendation because all the nutrients are put together, and once it takes it's in It's in position to get all the nutrients together. But at the beginning, when the birds have not yet been used to the feeding tray, we normally improvise with this empty tray, that like the ones we use for keeping eggs. So this is where we normally put the chick mash, and then they continuously run. But after a few days, 2 to 3, you can always remove them. Then one other thing is to also have to be having some vitamins boost their energy. But at the beginning, when you have just brought in the birds, for the first 2 to 4 hours, it's recommended to first give them glucose in water, so that they gain the energy, and then reduce on the stress, and then they gain the energy. But after the first 2 to 4 hours, you can always remove the glucose. But of course, with a vet, these birds are already immunized with against Malex, which is one of the challenges. But keep subscribing to our channel. You always see, and at the first stage, in one of the clips or the tutorials we have already shared, there is one to do with the vaccination process. So Malex is already immunized, and then now these birds are good to go for the first 1 week, until when we go to the second stage of the immunization. But here you have to just boost their immunity with some vitamin. This is vitamin, so that they gain the energy, because at this stage we're actually on the laying a foundation to make better yield, so they need a lot of attention. And then you also have to keep the lights on, okay, for a night, but during the day you can always find it a way that is convenient. Like if your brooder has enough lighting, then you can always protect them. But they majorly need the heat, because the heat somehow the raised temperature boosts them to take the water, which has the vitamin. So the temperature has to be a little higher than the normal temperature, so that they become a little thirsty, and then they take the vitamin together with the feed. So this lays a good foundation for them. And then in the first 2-3 days, really, it's the early mortality issues have to be beating onto them. So you have to be so keen and protective to your birds, at least to keep checking on them in the lag of every after 2 to 3 hours. You have to keep monitoring them, because they really actually they communicate. The sound they make. For instance, when the lights are out, there is a way they would also make noise, and then you also come to their attention and see what's actually taking place to their birds. In the tutorial, actually, we can get to know that there is a progression, and then they should be active at any one time. But it's actually important to keep monitoring. For instance, after feeding them, look around and see if there are birds that are in the corner, that there are those ones that are not quite fine. You can go an extra mile to give them water direct, and then figure out what actually is happening. So majorly that's that. And then you have to keep monitoring and looking at the birds on the routine, and so that you can yield better results. That's it for today. Keep subscribing to our channel. My name is Geoffrey, and we can always be updating. We appreciate the feedback. Always share your comments, and it's a continuous learning curve from each and every one. But we're so glad for the feedback and all the information. What's actually important is to make our customers, clientele, people who are following up on our tutorials to learn more and share from each other. What is actually important here is to share information and learn from one another and make sure that everyone gains from the basic information that we share, and then continuously add value to what you have, and then embrace the chain, because this is an additional to the supply chain, to have the chicken and then have an extra income, because it's the way to go. Yeah, so that's it for today. Keep subscribing to our channel, Nkoko Farmers Catalog. Thank you very much.